Good morning, guys. I want to talk today about the process of doing the work. And if you're doing the work, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're not too familiar with it, it's about stepping into your life fully. This is not a motivational video, okay? This is genuinely what happens and what we're doing about actually doing the work. Like going in, facing our stuff, our fears, our habits, our addictions, our mental patterns, our behavioral patterns, working with the mind, the body, and the spirit to actually overcome the lower density and increase your frequency and step it up, level up in your life, okay? And I want to talk about this specifically because this past weekend for me was really freaking tough. Like a lot of stuff came up. And a lot of things also, right? Once you look back, when you're in it, it's dramatic, it's intense, it's hard, it's emotional. Things get messy and ugly and humanly, right? And so I sat on it for a day or two and things started to click. And I started to realize that there has to be a middle point between bringing in the higher frequencies and releasing the lower densities, but also finding a medium point. And what has happened to me, and I want to share this with you guys because a lot of us are in this process of awakening, increasing consciousness, increasing our frequency. So we're reading a lot of books, we're talking to people, we're finding advice from different sources, right? And what happens when we do these things? Sometimes we get drifted into either the higher realms, and we read a quote like "this too shall pass," right? And we're like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, this too shall pass. So anything that happens, we take that quote on like, oh, this too shall pass. But what happens is that there's two sides to every quote. And these quotes are, they're true, right? There's truth that lies in them, but there's wisdom that lies in this type of stuff. So if you find information that resonates, before immediately applying it and becoming almost attached to it and like that's the way you're going to live, either meditate on it, sit on it, write it down and see what it actually means. Speak to other people about it. Speak to other people that you trust about it. Because I'm going to share with you that I got swept away because some of you guys know I can easily connect and really go high and meditate and just get swept away by these higher energies and frequencies. And it's beautiful and it's amazing. And a lot of my yoga practice these past few months has really taken me actually out of my body and into these beautiful earth ethereal realms. Beautiful, fascinating, awesome. But what happened was that I started to lose touch a little bit with the grounded part, right? With the groundedness of being a human being. And I forgot that there's this in-between point. And so all of a sudden, after months of kind of like swirling in the ethers, I started to realize that I wasn't actually becoming a co-creator of my life. I was kind of living by these quotes, these philosophies that, again, there's truth to them, but there's so much wisdom behind those words when put together, guys. It's not something to take lightheartedly. So go, let it flow. You're like, oh, I'm just going to let it flow. And so what happens, you start to surrender more and more and more and more to the point that you actually live a completely surrendered life. And that's great, right? But where is the part of co-creation? And what's been super strong and what really came up this weekend has been step into your life fully. Like 125,000 because we are the creators of our lives. We are the co-creator. You know, human, like Hu means God. It's the God force within, the creative force within. So yes, there is this yin and yang. That's life. That's the wisdom and the purity and the essence of this realm, is that you get black and white. You get good and bad. You get ups and downs, but there's this understanding that you have to live in that in between. So I can't just, for myself, live in the ethers, because all of a sudden when I come out into the world, I don't feel like I'm part of the world. But if I stay down and I'm always cleansing my soul and working with my fears and kind of drowning in the darkness, then I become that darkness and I attract that darkness. So it's this equilibrium point of, I'm here to do my work. I'm here to show up. I'm here to cleanse all the crap that is in my cells, that it's in my bones, that's been in my generations. It's history, past lives, future lives, whatever you want to call it, right? It's our responsibility to show up to that stuff, but also not be taken away by it, right? And also connect to our higher self and the highest version of ourself, and do the meditations and do the yoga practice and you know, clean foods and all these amazing things that we do to increase our frequency. Yes, yes, yes. But ground it. Bring it into the heart. Bring it into this. They say that the heart is the equilibrium. That's why I say bring it into the heart. The heart is what grounds the etheric and brings up the lower realms and allows us to create this equilibrium point of co-creative power. So we pull up the anger and the emotions and all that it is to be a human being. And then we also pull down what it is to understand what your higher self is here to do, what your cosmic self is here to do, what your God self wants to manifest in your life. And maybe these words don't resonate. Don't focus so much on the actual words that I'm saying. Focus on the energy that's behind these words. The words that we use are so not important. It's the message. It's finding this equilibrium, bring it into your heart space and creating from there. And I noticed this weekend that I wasn't fully satisfied with the creation that I was having from a day-to-day experience. Like me as a co-creator, as what I believe and what I practice and what I preach, I had to fully step into it in a grounded level from my heart and start to create. And when I started to do that, holy shit, it's been a roller coaster of 125 miles per hour. If that's not fast to you, I'm going to go to 200 miles per hour. Because it was like this click. And here's the thing, it's a process, right? So if you're like, I don't get you, man. I don't get what you're saying. That's fine. You're watching this and it's perfect. You're picking up exactly what you need to pick up. So don't worry about it. Just like stay with it. Open your heart and receive. But if you're with me, like, we're here to co-create. Where are you not fulfilling your destiny? Like, seriously. Where are you not finding magic in your life? Where are you not feeling good about yourself? Where are you coming up against obstacles and walls? Because a lot of things, and a lot of times I see that we hit walls and then we are like, oh, I'm just going to flow with it. I'm just going to let this pass. It'll just go away. Yeah, but what are you doing about it? What have you done since you experienced that tragic situation or mental illness or medical emergency or whatever family situation? What did you do with that? That's the lower part, right? It's not bad. It's just the human part of us. What are you bringing up or down? What are you bringing in from the higher realms or from your higher wisdom or your, your intuition or to meet it? What is the action that you're taking? And I'm really passionate about this because this is where the magic starts. When we start to fuse the yin and the yang, the up and the down, the lows and the highs. It's such a long process, guys. We're doing this together. Stay with it. And if you're interested, reach out. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to work with you. I'd love to be on this process together. And we already are. We already are. So, blessings.